My name is Jacob Tim, and I'm the Director of Retirement Planning here at 10 Capital. And today we're going to talk about planning and, moreover, building a prudent retirement plan. We kind of view traditional retirement planning as being broken. And what I mean by broken is most plans start purely with data. You all probably remember that commercial. I think we've even talked about it in the past, where everyone's walking around with their number under their arm, with the idea being if we get to a certain number, then we're going to be able to retire comfortably. But as we know, life changes, circumstances change, and the markets are anything but average. So the idea of using one number to determine whether or not we're going to be okay for the possibly 30 to 40 years in retirement is anything but steady. And we want to make sure that we have steady retirement plans in place. So what I'm going to talk about today is 10 Capital's process, because it's one thing to know that we view it as broken, but if you don't know how we operate, that's not very helpful. Some of you have probably already gone through this with us as clients, but the idea being that if we're going to build a plan for a client, we want to look at it from the perspective of values, then add the data to create action. With the idea being, we start our planning process up front with just talking with clients about what's important to them, goals, dreams, how they operate under financial stress. And we use two exercises in order to accomplish that. One is called a slow brain exercise, and the other is called a fast brain exercise. So with the slow brain exercise, what we're really trying to do is determine how do clients respond with their gut to financial decisions. Sometimes in high-stress situations, a neuropsychologist actually did a study at one point where they determined the same part of the brain that gets triggered when you're in mortal danger gets triggered when you lose money. So in our opinion, the idea of getting chased by a bear is literally the same as getting chased by a bear market. Rationality gets thrown right out the window and we make irrational decisions. So it all starts with getting to know what's important to the client, how they tick, how they're going to react depending on the situation that they're in before we ever even start to talk about what they own, what they owe, and what they're going to see from a portfolio that we're going to match up with the plan. So it starts with values, and the whole idea of values is what do you want and how are we going to view that as part of your financial picture. From that point, of course, we have to gather data. We need to know all of the pieces that make up your financial plan. Now, what we're going to do once we gather all that is build a plan based off of, we're going to run it out to your mid-90s, we're going to look at taxation, inflation, cost of living adjustments, but instead of building a plan that's based off of, we hope you average 7%, and you're going to take out 4%, and as long as we make a little more than we're taking out, we'll be okay, we're going to look at it from a different approach. So as opposed to looking at what we call straight line planning, which I just talked about, we're going to look at it from the perspective of, all right, now that we know what you want to achieve and what the data looks like, we're going to run 1,000 scenarios of your financial life against every market cycle that has ever occurred, looking at, based off of the good, the bad, and the ugly of what the market may produce or probably will produce, are you going to be able to get to the end of your plan, have assets left over, and be able to do everything that you wanted to do? So we look at it based off of a probability of success, and planning is not a one-time thing. All too often I see clients that tell us, yeah, we went through some financial planning with someone and we got an 80-page packet. We couldn't really understand a lot of it, but I guess we're good to go. Life changes, goals change, and we want to make sure that we adapt with that plan. So it's an ongoing process that we undertake. So if we start with the values and we add that data, together that's going to allow us to take action. So we would not even think of recommending a portfolio to a client until we've built that retirement plan. I can honestly say, if we sit down with you for the first time, we're going to have no idea what we're going to do from an investment perspective until we build that plan. Because in retirement, the benchmark is you. Not the US stock market. It's not any kind of asset class that we can come up with that should be the benchmark. We have to build a great portfolio. We're a money management firm. But we need that portfolio to match up with your goals so that you become the benchmark and what you want to achieve becomes the focal point of our planning process. With that being said, if some of you have taken the opportunity to go through planning with us, that's excellent. We're going to stay on top of that plan on your behalf. And if you haven't, please let us know. We'd be more than happy to sit down with you and walk you through what a prudent financial plan should look like.